In advertising, companies manufacture desire by associating their product or service with certain feelings, ideas. They sell you on a scenario. When you buy a new phone, you aren't just getting a phone, you're getting more quality time with your loved ones. It's not a car or a TV, it's a philosophy, a way of life. One of the most popular and convincing ways products have been marketed is with the future. Be it with aesthetics or setting, the future has been very influential when it comes to selling, and today on the Videocast, we're going to be looking at why. We will be covering over a century of futuristic ad campaigns, seeing what it is about the future that resonates with consumers, how the future has changed, but more importantly, how the future has been sold. As always, I am your host, Brian. Patreon.com/PixelPortraits is how you can support us here. This video is being produced during the holiday season, and we have a bunch of holiday-themed content over there, along with dozens of other exclusive videos and series like feature film, looking at the future of movies. You can get access to all of that for as little as $5 a month. You can also read or listen to my book, The Nostalgia Economy. Physical copies are available as well. So if you like what we do, want to help make it happen, please consider supporting us. Now, enough time has passed that much of the futurism seen in these ads can now be classified as retrofuturism, which we are certainly no stranger to here. I always like to preface by saying retrofuturism is not about the future, it's about the past. The futures imagined here are both aesthetically and philosophically rooted in the times they were conceived. As such, some of them are pretty out there in their absurdity. The people producing these ads were not trying to accurately predict the future or what the future would be, but instead associate themselves, their brand, with the future. What the future is changes. Up until about 25 years ago, the future was widely seen optimistically. We have an entire video on post-futurism, how and why that changed, but placing an ad in the future suggests staying power. This product is so well made, the brand is so strong, it will exist far into the future. Another reason a company might set their ad in the future is to show it is state-of-the-art. It is years ahead of the competition. Its designs or features are cutting edge. It's breaking new ground. It's better, faster, stronger. This is especially common with technology. I think it's best going in chronological order here, moving forward in time, because it's very interesting seeing not only how the future changed, but also how advertising progressed. The earliest examples we have been seeing come from the late 19th century, illustrations that were included in cigar boxes, in the case of these cards, produced in France and generally attributed to Jean-Marc Cotier, or these ones from Germany, which were inserted into chocolates sold by Theodor Hildenbrand & Son. Both of these were a novelty and showed the future, specifically the year 2000, as this absurdly wonderful, far-off place. The artists were operating within the confines of their time, and as such, some of what was dreamt up comes off as silly. That being said, some of the ideas have come to fruition in one way or another. Flying craft appear time and again. These are in line with the aviation experiments of the era, giving flapping wings like birds, automation, mechanical assistance, machines doing work, serving us, all things we will be seeing a lot of. In the early 20th century, no future was brighter than the one shown at the 1939 New York World's Fair. The theme of the fair was the world of tomorrow, and exhibits like General Motors' Futurama introduced patrons to an automated highway, promised to just be a couple decades away. This was not a great time, right between the Great Depression and World War II, which was sold, or used to sell, in its own way. Wartime futurism isn't the most popular, especially when it comes to civilian life, but this ad campaign from Bonn Aluminum and Brass offers a fascinating glimpse into the post-war future. These were illustrated by the great Arthur Raidbaugh, who created the Closer Than We Think series. The product here was the aluminum or materials that would be used to create these sleek, streamlined machines of the near future. Notice on some of them, the calls for war bonds. The tone of these are also very reassuring. The war is going to end. There is mention of peace and victory. That victory ushered in the golden era of retrofuturism, as far as I'm concerned at least. There are so many wonderful examples of easy living in the decades that followed. After all the trauma of war, the future was bright. It was going to be comfortable and convenient. Anything you could possibly want was just the push of a button away. Throughout the 1950s and 60s, companies like GM, Westinghouse, and Frigidaire produced these lush, extravagant films that were almost romantic in their approach to the future. Not everything that is advertised is a product or even a service. Sometimes it is ideas that are being sold, like these print ads produced by the lobbying group America's Independent Electric Light and Power Companies, or AIELPC. This was a collective of privately owned energy providers that also ran propaganda opposing government energy programs. Some pretty hysterical stuff. But also, some of the most iconic images related to retrofuturism came from this campaign. It showcased everything from self-driving cars to flying cars and shopping at home via television. This was your new electric life, powered by atomic energy, and the possibilities were endless. Someday you might even control nature, make it summer in the winter. Anything was possible. During this period, our future was also in the stars, space, the atomic age, the space age, same time, and many ads were produced with space as the setting. There was so much optimism and excitement. We were going to be living on the moon by 1975. In reality, the 1970s were very pragmatic in their approach to the future. After 20 years of thinking up all these amazing and fantastic things, whether or not they were possible was considered. This was the decade of future shock, the idea that things are moving so fast, people can't keep up. They experience stress and anxiety even trying to. Sustainability, can the planet even handle what was being imagined? And then our future, or present, arrived. Into the 80s and 90s, things start to look very familiar. Much of the tech we use every day, computers, cell phones, the internet, were adopted at the commercial level. In the past, these were relegated to science fiction, and advertisers really leaned into that. The fact that this was the future promised. Companies like Apple, AT&T, and Philips produced marketing material looking ahead from this time at what might be. This is by far my favorite future. This was the future when I was growing up, and very much maintains the hope and optimism we've seen in some of the older things we've looked at. AT&T's excellent You Will campaign from the early 90s is a great example of using schmaltz to sell the future. Several sentimental scenarios play out around communication technology as we see video calling, entertainment on demand, distance learning, RFID, online shopping, with each ad ending, "You will." They were right on a lot of this. We have. Apple's future from around the same time paints a similar picture with similar tech. It is a stable future, comfortable, work is easy, you can even order pizza online. The internet at this time was often presented as something you jacked into. Cyberspace presented as a physical space that you navigated. I love this period so much, not only because it was the future when I was a kid, but the fact that these products and ideas are so close to fruition at this point. Social media, even filter bubbles can be seen, but their execution is still somewhat off, and in that way, they still feel distant. Obviously, sometimes ads are just set in the future for fun, to use a futuristic aesthetic or add a sci-fi quality, but by doing so, advertisers tap into our want for permanence, our desire for progress, and for something to last. Some of these companies helped usher in the future we live in, but whether consumers or investors, the point of everything we've seen today was to sell, to make money. Anyway, what do you think? What are some of your favorite commercials or ad campaigns set in the future? Let me know in the comments. If you enjoyed this video, give us a thumbs up, that helps out a lot. Subscribe, share, and if you have the means, please consider supporting us on Patreon or YouTube memberships. Super thanks, buy a book, everything helps. As always, thank you so much for your interest in this channel, and thanks for watching. See you in the future.